a 12 RR weekly market recap. This week we had a 12 RR week, at a 9 RR setup, and as well as a 4.8 RR setup, and as well a one loss, which we had on Monday. This is my weekly market recap, and let's get straight into it. We're gonna be talking about the improvements, the lessons from the trades. What can we improve from the trades? What are the lessons? What are the everything, right, that we can use as an improvement? Because as you guys know, over here in my community, we use our losses and our wins for areas of improvement. Even the wins, right? Wins can be used as an area of improvement, right? Such as the Thursday trade, right? We could be talking about that as well. Let's get straight into it, right? Monday, I had a loss here, right? So let me go give you guys top down narrative to why I had a loss, right? So higher time frame, we're going from daily ERL to IRL, daily CRT to the downside. So that was what led me to taking a short entry. That's what led me to take a short bias here, right? On the 4 hour time frame, we had this 4 hour key level as our, I'm saying, this we had this basket liquidity at the 4 hour key level. Why this basket liquidity? Because this is in the premium, and we don't care about this oral block simply because it did not, I'm saying, fill liquidity or purge liquidity, right? So this is our only key level that we had, and we were looking for a New York Russell Profile 1 accumulation, 5 mid position, 9 expansion. As well, we're looking for a New York Russell Profile 2 because we had an S&P divergence with the 1 a.m. With the 9 a.m. and the 5 a.m. candle, as well as the S&P divergence happened way later on the day, around 2 p.m. is when the S&P, the bullish S&P divergence happened. So that's what led me taking a loss here. And we had a daily range market, purge at a low, purge at a high, minute stable high, stable low. Yeah, we were in the premium area, so we want to sell. This guy want to buy, so we're in the premium. So you want to sell. We want to go to we're gonna go to the range low right over here, right? So that was overall my narrative to this trade, to this short entry. You go to the lower time frame, you're probably wondering like, oh well, why didn't you not enter the trade around here, right? So because you had we had a CRT, right? The reason I did not enter the trade around here is because the entry of that was a number 1, which was the body, right? But you're probably wondering, well, if that's the body, why did you still look for a short entry when you're supposed to look for this long to get soup? It's because we had an SMT divergence, right? So SMT prevent that soup from happening. So I was like, okay, it's still valid for me to take a trade, although it gave me the wrong model 1. Although it gave me the wrong looking model, I was still looking for a trade because of the SMT divergence, right? So the SMT was the only one that led me taking this trade, right? That still led me to taking the short trade. But wondering, well, did you stay on risk or did you de-risk? I de-risked on this trade. I de-risked by 50%, right? I was initially supposed to risk 2%. I risked 1% and I lost 1%, right? Which is fantastic. And I took the short. So the SM divergence right over here with with the high. Eventually, we had our mono confirmation, which was the full counter range with an entry right over here. Eventually, stop loss, entry, take profit 1, take profit 2, right? And yeah, it was just like emotional roller coaster. Market was constantly going up, up, down, up, down, up, down. Like at this point, I was like, when I was around right here, I was like, man, just stop me out, man. It's like way better me getting stopped out than me feeling these emotions, right? As you guys know, we shouldn't be feeling emotions while trading, but this shit like constantly made me feel emotion for some reason, right? Which it's natural. I'm a human being, and yeah, we took the short. We got stopped out. What was the lesson for that trade? We built good habits. I'm satisfied. I focused on the process. It was in my system, so I'm taking it, right? But if I were to just take this, if I were to just go from this 5 a.m. CRT, I mean the 1 a.m. CRT and the 5 a.m. it being as our our CRT, I would have not taken this trade. I would have not taken the 5 a.m. CRT trade, right? Why? Simply because of the not right model 1. But the only reason I took this trade is because of the SMT divergence, right? And we had some narrative to the downside, as you can see, premium key level. We were in a premium of the area of the dealing range. Eventually, that's what led me to taking this short entry, and that's why I lost. And I did risk on the trade. So the lesson of the trade is simply, is de-risking, which I did, right? So the lesson is nothing, to be honest, because I followed my rules. I built good habits. I'm satisfied. I focus on the process. I de-risk. I followed my rules, right? So it's just a probability setup, right? It just took a loss, right? So now let's go over Tuesday is where we had our missed trade. But when we talk about a 12 RR week where you only made what, like 2 point, you only made 3 RR. I only made 3 RR this week, by the way. Keep in mind there is partials, right? So partial does make your setup bad. And our Thursday trade, it was the interesting trade that we could talk about as well, right? So on this right over here, I I missed it, right? So there is a lesson from this trade. So let's go do a top down analysis one more time before we talk about the setup right over here, right? So if we go to the daily time frame, daily we had a daily IRL to ERL, so daily SMT IRL to ERL right over here to this 90.35 mark. As well, we had a classic expansion profile 2 to the upside, Monday low of the week, because Monday had SMT, right? So Monday is protected, right? And what else do we had here? If we go to the that's all we had in a higher time frame. Lower time frame, we also had a weekly, by the way. We had a weekly, ERL to IRL is IGA inverse. We're going to the high of IRL, which is the 90.35 mark, right? Which I've been talking about for the past couple months now, right? So on the 4 hour time frame, we're looking for a near continuation. If I'm bullish, I want the London session or ASIC to make the low of the day, not the high of the day. In this case, he met the low of the day. So I'm looking for a near continuation, right? It's just we as well had we had nothing else but this. We had a bullish order flow. That was enough for me to take a trade, right? On this trade, we had a bearish order flow. So that was the flaw on this setup. That's why we failed high likely because, I'm saying the order flow was bullish and I went bearish shred. So, but it's all part of the game, right? You just made the low probably setup, so I did de-risk, right? So that's that. And if you go to the hourly time frame for our key level, so we had an hourly IRL to ERL, as well as a hourly CRT that are in the hero situation right over here. And what led me to missing this setup? I was go over the execution, right? 5 minute time frame. We had a right time to purge, which was between 6 a.m. and 10:30 a.m. We as well had the right number one. We as well had a legit low there, right? So every rule was followed there. So we take it straight. So market stood at the low, market closed above, tapped it, and never re-entered, right? So over here, right when it tapped it, when it up here, I was looking to enter the trade. Why? Because I was literally back testing if I could be trading a near continuation around 7 a.m. and I back tested it. I was okay. I can't trade during 7 a.m., but I must see a purge of a CRT, right? I cannot have a purge or SMT. I cannot have a 6 a.m. to be purging the 5 a.m. giving us that setup because usually it will soup out the 6 a.m. as well, right? So I found out, okay, I'm about to take a trade. So I came back 5 minutes later. I was like, okay, I'm going to take the trade because I had enough data. I had like 3 data to backing that off. So okay, I'm going to take it. Eventually, market, never offered me that setup and just went up, right? Never retraced. And there was a OTE here, but you guys wondering, well, why don't you enter OTE? I do not enter OTEs, man. I only take the number one because this gives me the best entry. This gives me the best, stop loss, right? Where I'm very protected because my stop loss is the total soup, as you can see it here. The total soup, my entry is the OTE, but he never did an OTE here. He did near it, right? So, yeah, my take profit one was this high, take profit two, take profit three right over here. And, what I'm saying, you can see how the market went and hit take profit and we missed a 4.8 RR. So, what is the lesson of this trade? The lesson of this trade is simply we can trade New York continuations at 7 a.m. We can trade New York reversals at 6 a.m., right? Starting from 6 a.m. to 10:30 a.m. and starting from 7 a.m. to 10:30 a.m., right? For a New York continuation. And that is why I missed the setup. Is a lesson. This day was a lesson day because I could have forced a trade right over here and made a huge amount of profit, but I would not be doing that. Why? Simply by knowing that, I'm saying, habits are actually what's making me money, right? My habits is what makes me money. If I buy this right over here, which is not in my system, eventually I'm gonna buy random mass positions and they get stopped off for no reason, right? So that's why I did not even force another trade, right? I just called it a day. I was like, okay, 4.8 RR is done, right? Because we made this trade, woulda, shoulda, coulda. Even a missed trade, we're gonna journal it and catch it next time, right? So this trade right over here would have made my -1 RR back, and plus like 3.8 RR, right? So we were already up by the week. And just keep in mind, I did not, say take that trade, but we still have to journal it, right? So right over here on Wednesday, right? On Wednesday, we had our buy strong. No, we didn't have our buy strong. Our just buys got invalidated, right? So I was looking for a New York situation at first. And eventually, I was looking for a New York reversal. But when the New York reversal happened here, I'm saying for a New York reversal profile 1 or 2, the London session high or the Asian session high should be protected, right? Because I'm bullish because of the classic, especially profile to the upside, daily SMT to the upside. So I was looking for a long here instead of short, and I never had the opportunity. So I was like, okay, I'm done. I'm not taking it straight. And we first of all, our buys got invalidated, so I didn't even take the trade. Why I didn't take the trade? Because our buys got invalidated, right? So if you can see, in this case, if I'm looking for a New York reversal profile 2, the London session or the Asian session high should be protected, which in this case we're not protected, so I'll just call it a day. And eventually you can see market did, stop us out if we're just to look for a trade here, right? Thursdays where the beautiful day came, and Thursdays where something bad happened as well. Not bad, it's just that, what I'm saying, you see that pullback, yeah, we're gonna talk about it, right? So on Thursday we had a range, right? We go over our high time frame first before we go to the lower time frame. Daily classification profile 2, daily SMT divergence with the, with the Monday low. So daily, we as well had a daily IRL to ERL, right? Daily, if you keep on mark this out right over here. We as well had a daily CRT to the upside. We bought below the opening price of the weekly candle. We bought below the opening price of the daily candle. We bought below the opening price of the 4-hour candle. That's what literally led me to taking this long entry here, right? Very high narrative. We're at a 4-hour range. How does our range? This high is a range dynamic high of the daily CRT. This low is the daily CRT low, right? So that's what literally led me taking this trade. We had a bullish order flow. We were in a discounted area of the daily range. This daily range low is protected, so that's why this low is more protected than this high, right? It because there's more days for it to be protected, right? So we go from daily range discount daily range to daily range high right over here. We have our target was a daily CRT, 50% of the daily CRT. Why that 50% of the daily CRT? Because we're trading through Thursday and Friday. Thursday and Friday we must go for risk to take profit. If we have a daily CRT, we should be going for a 50% mark only. If it has not been tapped yet, if it has been tapped, go for a CRT CRT low, right? That's actually what led me to go for this 50% mark only, right? So now we'll go to the lower time frame. We're looking for a New York reversal profile 2 here, right? 5 EMA commission, 9 EMA position, and 1 PM expansion. If I'm bullish, I want the London session to make the low of the day, not the high of the day. In case make the high, agents to make the high of the day, so I'm looking for a New York reversal. That's what led me taking a reversal, right? And the highs of either the session was protected, right? So because to the 15-minute time frame, a lot asked me, well, Taki, you said there must be a legit low. There wasn't a legit low here, right? There was a legit low. We're gonna talk about it, right? If you go to the hourly time frame, there's an hourly CRT as well. So if we're in New York reversal profile 2, you could have a advanced entry on the 5-minute time frame because that's what the New York reversal profile 2 lets you in, right? Quick little sauce to you guys, right? If you go to the 5-minute time frame, at the 5-minute for the hourly CRT, there was a legit low, so that's what led me taking it straight. So market purchase at the low, give you the entry, tap it, stop loss, and take profit 1, take profit 2, and take profit 3. And keep in mind, this 83.03 is now my entry. My entry was at 83.09. Right, that's the bad part. So when I entered the trade, I didn't even enter that position, right? So market taps just went up out of it, right? So I got a little delayed entry. So I entered at 83.09 because of the spread, first of all, and market kind of went away from it. And what else? That's that. And that's what literally led me to taking a stop loss here because market retraced all the way down to 83. Oh, right over here, 83. Wrong candle right over here, 83, 83.08. Literally one tick on my entry, right? So that's what happened. And I lost actually negative $5 on this trade, but I overall made 3 RR on this whole trade, this whole trade right over here. So this trade made my Monday loss back plus a 2 RR, which is fantastic, right? So now let's go over it, right? So you can see take profit, got one, got hit, take profit two, and let's go over the lesson of this trade here, right? The lesson is I should not be going for a 50%. I will not be going for a 50% mark anymore at all, right? Why not 50% mark? Because in this case, I went for a 50% mark. I as well de-risk. I should not be de-risking. The only time I de-risk is when my rule says to de-risk, right? When does my rule says to de-risk? When there is a SMT. There's no SMT, I do not de-risk. I stay on risk, right? So in this case, instead of me risking 2%, I risked 1%. And this setup right over here, just for the take profit one, I would have passed the challenge, right? Right? Just a 5-6 RR right over there, right? I would have passed the challenge, but literally I de-risk, so I didn't, overall even make it, right? So the lesson is only de-risk when the rule says so, right? And I didn't, because I just de-risked because I thought market wants to go. Market wanted to give me clear signs, right? The only time market wants to give you a clear signs is when there's not enough narrative, right? The last time, the reason I didn't take the trade was because it was not, market didn't give me a clear sign. He wants to go up higher. It was not enough narrative. In this case, there was enough narrative to this trade, right? There was a range, which is a primary source, and the order flow, right? That's why I was, I'm saying, confident in this trade, but I de-risked, right? So the lesson is only de-risk when the rule says so. If the rule does not say don't de-risk, I will not de-risk, right? And the rule says don't go for 50% of the CRT. I will not go for 50% CRT. I will only go for a CRT high, CRT low, right? Because the rule says my take profit will be CRT highs, right, and CRT lows, not that 50% mark, because 50% mark, I'm advanced trader, right? So I don't have to go for it, right? So that's that. If you're a beginner, you should definitely go for it because you'll face way more losses, right? So yeah, because you have to build confidence throughout the way. And yeah, the lesson of this, you can see market tap TP1. We partial at the 50% mark, which that's literally messed up my RR. I could have made a 4RR on this setup right over here. I could have made a 4RR just for the CRT high, right? And eventually go on break even. But I took some partials here and took another partial here, which literally that is what messed up the setup, right? So I first of all made less. I only made 3RR instead of a 4RR or 3.5RR, right? So that's that. And my entry was at 83.09 because the market came back down and went to 83.03, right? So 83.08. So that's normal. That's gonna happen, right? Our entries, right? Our initial entry should have been here. It's just fine. But yeah, the lesson is what? The lesson is do not break it. I mean, do not stop. Do not, what do you call it? Shit, I forgot. Do not de-risk only if it's the rule says so. Do not de-risk only if the rule says so, right? If the rule does not say don't de-risk, I'm not gonna de-risk, right? If the rule says, because I have a system where I have to de-risk. I have a system where I de-risk. So if I lost 3 losing streak in a row, I would de-risk by 50% mark, right? That's only in the, on the funny stage, right? Or live account stage, right? And other one is S&P versions, right? That's the only way I can de-risk. Without that, I cannot de-risk, right? So my rule, I already have a rule. I already have a de-risking system, so I must follow that de-risking system. And other than that, what else? The lesson of this trade is do not go for BSM mark. Only go for CT hatch too low, and everything else is fine. I built good habits. I'm satisfied regardless of the outcome, right? I'm very satisfied on this trade. This is how I made a 12RR. And Friday, no setup. Friday, I was just boss guy and our CRT got invalidated with this no setup, right? He does give it a setup, but that setup did not for me that legit low of a CRT, so I did not take it, which broke my rule, right? So I didn't even take no setup over here, and that's why I did not take the setup here, right? So this is my weekly market recap of 3/15/2025, right? So let's go over a whole quick recap of what everything we talk about. We build good habits, we're satisfied, right? We need to focus on the process. We can trade from 7 a.m. on for a New York attrition and 6 a.m. on for a New York reversal. We can only go for CTH too low, not 50% mark. We can only de-risk when our rule says so. If our rule says don't de-risk, we're not gonna de-risk. And we will. That's it, right? The other rule is like what? What is the other mm, other lessons that we can have throughout this week. Do not FOMO in, right? Because I had a FOMO problem around here. I did not FOMO in, though I didn't take action on it, right? And over here, probably wondering like, well, if there's if the S&P diverse got confirmed, why don't you just go and break even, right? I don't want that to be a habit, right? If I make a habit around here, it's what's gonna happen. Eventually, I'm gonna break even too early. Ooh, guess eventually make a stop loss even better. I'm gonna lose trades that are good for no reason, right? Because keep in mind, your stop loss is the OTE. I mean, your stop loss is the total soup. Your entry is the OTE. So market could constantly come back to entry, right? And push back up higher, right? Come back to your entry and push up higher. Keep that in mind. So yeah, that's the lesson of the week. We end up on a 12 RR. This one is a missed setup. I'm still gonna count it, right? Why? Because a missed setup is still gonna have to be a journal, right? This is the only we took, which was a 3 RR. We end up on a week on a 3 RR. We lost negative 1 RR right over here, right? Eventually, we made 3 RR right over here. So, AKA, did I end up on a week on a negative 3 RR? Or actually ended up on a week with a positive 2 RR, but you know what I'm saying, because I lost negative 1 RR over here. Eventually I made 3 RR here, so I'm basically up 2 RR in this week, right? But when they were like, oh shit, where's the next 10? Where's the other 10 RR? Right? Just first of all, partialing, I did a wrong partial here. Second of all, it is what it is, right? Partialing, you know what I'm saying, I'd rather make money than not make money, right? If I was just to go over here and break even, guess what? I just made nothing, right? So yeah, it doesn't mean that I'm not confident. It just means that okay, I'm locking in profits and this is a miss trade. That's why the miss trade is a miss trade, right? I can't do anything about it. I'm not gonna be concerned about it, right? A win trade doesn't excite me. A loss trade does not phase me. A miss trade does not concern me. But when they were like, how right when I took this loss, the next day I didn't even think about this loss, right? You guys know, man. For the past here, you guys have been seeing me take losses, wins. You guys have been seeing me being a losing streak. Couple weeks ago, 2 weeks ago, -5 losing streak, right? -5 RR losing streak, and two chicks made it back, all back in profits, right? Like a losing streak is another day in the office for me, right? I don't feel losses, right? Even because keep in mind, when I'm live streaming, right, I'm getting pressured on, right? There's pressure on me constantly, right? Because what does this guy think? What does that guy think? What does this fucking random ass people think about me, right? Why what if they judge me this, judge me that, right? There's constant pressure on me, but as a man, right? Like, would you ever let that get into you? No, right? Would you ever let literally a emotion control you? No, right? If you would you ever let that do that to happen to you? Would you ever let a loss like let it affect you? Like I focus in the long term, right? Not short term. Like I build good habits, I'm satisfied regardless of the outcome. Even the losing streak, I'm happy, right? But the negative 5 I had, I broke my rule. So I was like, okay, my rules is what's actually making money. My habits are actually making money. So let me follow my rules. When I follow my rules, I make all my losses back plus profits, right? And the lesson is do not let the losses phase you, man. When you win, you should not feel nothing. When you lose, you should not feel nothing. When you're wrong, you should not feel nothing. You should when you lose, you should feel nothing, right? A win trade should not excite you. A loss trade should not phase you, and a miss trade does not concern you. Especially the miss trade. Eventually, over here, I had a concerned type of emotion. I was like, oh fuck, I missed it. Fuck. You know what I'm saying? I'm not gonna. I could have, should have, would have, hit a, made profit back. I could have passed my channel account because I was gonna risk 2%, right? You see how this trade is gonna concern me as a profitable trader acts. What is profitable trader act? A miss trade as a profitable trader, he does not get it does not let it concern you, right? A profitable does not get concerned from a miss trade. Because in this trade, I was going to risk 2%, right? In this trade, I'm supposed to be risking 2%, but I risk 1%, but I guess there's a lesson, right? For this trade, I was going to risk 2%, so I was going to pass the challenge account, right? And yeah, because I told myself, this is right over here. My rule says to de-risk because of the SMT. This rule said I could risk 2% because I'm in a challenge account, right? If I'm in a challenge account, I could risk 2%, and I'm saying up to 2%. If I'm on a live account, I can only risk up to maximum 1%, right? Never exceed 1% maximum, right? On a funded account or a live account, right? So literally, this one like got me concerned, but guess what? Did I let it affect me? No, right? The next day, I didn't even think about the previous day. The new day, I didn't even care about the last day. Right? I didn't even care about the big bearish move happening to a game that was against me. Because if you're bullish, you want the market to go down first so you can get a discounted entry, right? If you're bearish, you want the market to go up first so you can get a premium entry to the downside so you can sell, an expensive price. You can sell high, buy low, right? Never let losses, phase you, right? Because you guys see me lost a lot. You guys see me losing streak, winning streak. It is not, what I'm saying, phase me whatsoever. It does not excite me whatsoever. It's just another day in the office, right? Losing streak to me is like normal, right? As a guy who has only 40%, you can see me. I lost a trade because I have a 40% fucking win rate. So I'm definitely gonna lose, right? I'm definitely gonna lose 60% of the time or 40% of the time. I have around somewhere between 40% to 60% winner, right? So most of the time I'm gonna lose, right? So it's literally the point. The point is I'm making more than I'm losing, right? If I'm losing 1 RR, I'm making a 2 RR back or above. Usually most of my setups are usually 2 RR and above, right? 2 RR minimum, right? So I'm making more than I'm losing. I don't not take any setup that offers me less than 2 RR, right? So literally focus on that. Focus on RR. Focus on win rate. Win rate is 40%. You can only take 2 RR setups and above. 30% win rate, you can only take setups that are 33 RR and above. If you have a 60% win rate, you can go for a 1.5 RR and above, or 1 RR and like not 1 RR and above because you're not profitable, right? And yeah, literally that's what you gotta do, and you're gonna be profitable long term. Literally, it's how I make my money back plus profits in a crypto market, any market, right? Is that's not the topic of the day. The topic of the day is simply, saying, do not let these losses phase you. You're a man. Would you ever let a fucking screen phase you? Would you let a screen, like a chart, a box, a line, a candle pushing up and down, let it affect your emotions? That's gay, you know what I'm saying? If you think about it, that's the gayest form of human existence, right? That's freaking gay, okay? So don't not let this, you know what I'm saying, let that happen to you, right? Don't let it affect you, right? I don't even feel emotions when I win or lose, right? I may feel some sort of emotion during a trade, right? Because it's like I'm a human being, but I will be in a point, and I am in a point where I will not feel no emotion, and I am not feeling any emotions about being in a trade or whatever, right? So yeah, join Discord. Link is down below. Like, comment, subscribe, share, and I'll see you guys later. We have the best community in our Discord, and I'll see you guys on my Discord. Peace out. Peace.